What's going on, guys? King here. Wanted to welcome you to the video and welcome you to this first video of this new channel. On this new channel, I'm primarily going to be covering Space Marine 2 and Warhammer 40k content. So for this first video, I wanted to jump into the September community update posted by Focus Entertainment over on their website and sort of go through the blog post here with y'all and speak on how I'm feeling and what my thoughts are on Space Marine 2 moving forward into this year 2 and with the year 2 roadmap that they have released. So, first off, the September community update starts with greetings, Space Marines. Let's rewind a little on what's happened this month and see what's coming. First anniversary, September marks the first anniversary of Space Marine 2. They wanted to thank us all for our continued support and the enthusiasm we've shown for each update. The devotion and passion has been a blessing and source of motivation to us. We value your feedback and enjoy working in collaboration with you like we did this first year. Both Saber and Focus are incredibly fond of this project and will continue to cherish it. We cannot wait to see how this second year rolls out. And I would say Focus Entertainment and Saber Interactive have been really, really good about listening to the community and trying to implement as much feedback as possible in Space Marine 2. Obviously, there's a lot to grow. There's a lot to improve with the game. But for the most part, most games and game studios, game developers, do not really take feedback and try to implement it immediately or even in a fast pace whatsoever. Saber has been really good and Focus has been really good about pushing out hot fixes when needed. When there's real game-breaking issues in the game, they've been very quick to address them. So they said this month we released the 10.0 anniversary update, including free and DLC content such as 2 new game modes, Hellbrew Onslaught and Stratagems, new weapons, Pyre Cannon Power Axe, heroic weapon variants, the Chaos Spawn, and Mutalith Vortex Beast. They said in patch 10 stability, patch 10 was the biggest update for the game, and unfortunately a lot of minor yet super game-breaking issues or balancing misconfigurations got in. They apologized for that, and normally they would catch those in the PTS phase, but they didn't do a PTS, a public test server, for patch 10 because they didn't have time for it, which is surprising because with such a massive update, they definitely want to test these things before they go live to make sure that a lot of these issues are already corrected before they hit the full version of the game. So they said here, PTS will return for patch 11 and all subsequent patches unless we do another huge anniversary patch. And I feel like this is a big statement right here. They are already in the thought process that they're going to do another anniversary patch on their year 2 anniversary and possibly moving forward. I know a lot of people have thought that with this game, there's been a big concern that there's now a skeleton crew only working on this game and that the majority of Saber and Focus have shifted over to the release of Space Marine 3. And while I do think that may be the case, I do think they have committed a significant portion of their team back to Space Marine 2 to really help with the game balancing, the issues that do arise, the bugs that do arise, to try and get them fixed as quickly and efficiently as possible so we can continue to love this game until the release of the new game. They said that with Stratagems, Stratagems is the new game mode they released for PvE. Our objective with Stratagems was to add the hardest content in the game. We are not planning to make weekly hard Stratagems easier. However, we are going to address some issues with daily Stratagems in patch 11. First of all, daily Stratagems are random. This is why some of the battlefield condition combinations do not make any sense or are too punishing or restrictive for no reason. The truth is that there are not enough battlefield conditions right now. With patch 11, we are going to add a second batch, approximately 50 of them. Having more conditions will allow us to remove some that don't work on their own from the daily rotation pool, which I think is great. I think the more conditions, the better. I am really interested to see if they bring back the tight formation condition they originally released with the lethal difficulty patch, because I think that adds an element of realism to the game, with our squad working in tight cohesion, not straying too far away from each other, or else we'll be penalized with not being able to get things like armor back. Weekly stratagems are completely different. Each weekly stratagem has a pre-made battlefield condition combination level attached to it. All 52 weekly stratagems are handcrafted and are designed to be either hard or fun depending on the week. The key is to make sure that it's different every week, and ideally players have to alter their playstyle, which I think honestly is really, really good. There's a portion of this game that needs a certain level of skill and a certain level of player level to actually accomplish these hard stratagems. To me, there should be some sort of level lock behind the hardest content in this game, because there is a very dedicated veteran player base to this game that has massive hundreds of thousands of hours dedicated to playing Space Marine 2 and to leveling up, prestiging all of their classes, and creating perk and different builds to accomplish these different things like siege mode, hard stratagems, absolute difficulty on operations. So I think that them keeping the hardest content in the game continually progressing and being difficult is going to sort of vet a lot of the player base and make it so the veteran players have to step up and either carry their teams, or only veterans are allowed to play the hardest content in the game, and other players need to level up and learn the skill base of the game before they can continue on. They said, in this community update, we'll tackle patch 11 with a sneak peek, a new limited edition for the game, the upcoming demo, and Discord quests. Update 10.2, which was the most recent hotfix. It fixed critical issues such as the Assault's Ascension perk dealing with friendly fire damage, stratagems having more battlefield conditions than listed. Also, the Sniper's Camo Cloak activation cost change. If you want to read the changelog, you can find it here. And don't worry, guys, I will post this link to the blog post in the description below. Update 11 teasing. So Update 11 will be released in November. We'll bring 2 new cosmetic DLCs as announced on the roadmap. The next champion pack will be Blood Angels and associated with the tactical class. Yes, tactical. So I know that this is a huge bummer for so many Blood Angels fans, but they did say here now, before all the Blood Angels come to our office searching for Horus, please note that the champion pack will come with its own unique jump pack and individual parts that can be used separately like with other champions. So what you have to remember is, because of the cosmetic update they did in patch 10, now every single champion pack that you get is more valuable. You can use those pieces on other classes. So I think it's unique that they already thought of adding a unique jump pack into this champion pack, because if you take a look at the previous champion packs, the White Scars champion, which is already for the Assault, has a unique jump pack, but you can't translate that over to any other classes in the form of a regular backpack on your Space Marine. So with them anticipating the hype around the Blood Angels champion and it being a sanguinary guard type model, I think they already have gone down the path of creating something on the tactical class that can be translated over to Assault to create that sanguinary guard type model. They said, as for Salamander's cosmetic pack, it will include heraldry of various Salamander successors, as well as different armor parts. And with every single cosmetic pack that they've released, guaranteed they release a cosmetic pack with, at minimum, a helmet, a chest piece, and 1 shoulder piece. So I think that's at minimum what we can expect out of the cosmetic pack. I know there have been some leaks showing a possible iron halo for the Salamanders that looks like a little flame on top of the backpack, which would be really, really cool as well. They said, regarding gameplay additions, the next PvE operation will be an off-planet mission, including a new boss fight. Here's a preview of the inside and outside of the arena. So they do have some concept art here. It looks like a massive type Space Hulk or cruiser type vessel that we're going to be traversing, which I think is going to be really cool. There have also been some leaks, some data mine content around the new boss fight and the possibility of it being a winged Tyrannid Prime. So I think that would be so sick to be able to go up against a winged Tyrannid Prime, even multiple. I think it's just going to add a new level to the game. And based off of the last boss fight that they incorporated with the Mutolith Vortex Beast, it's going to be extremely hard and it's going to be very difficult. So I'm looking forward to it. They said, we've also seen that you're having many questions regarding heroic weapons. We will keep adding new heroic weapons with the major updates starting with 11. We can't show you them yet, but you can already tell, or we can already tell you that the Thunder Hammer will be among these weapons. Lastly, on the update 11 topic, a long-awaited feature will be added: bots customization. When launching a PvE operation with bots, they will automatically equip one of your loadouts. We will detail this new feature later on, so bear with us. I think this is going to be really great. It's going to add another level of immersion and realism and consistency with the loadouts for your bot Space Marines. So if you love playing Ultramarines, if you love playing Imperial Fists, if you love playing Death Watch, Salamanders, Blood Angels, whatever chapter you love, you can make custom loadouts for your characters and they will match up with your player going into operations. And they did say there was already going to be a public test server for patch 11. Going into heroic items, they said we are going to continue adding more and more heroic items, both armor and weapons. With weapons, the objective is to have at least 2 heroic weapons per archetype. Overall, heroic weapons are meant to allow different playstyles, and they're meant to be a side grade for existing relic weapons. Saying that they're a side grade in this blog post is a little bit of a backstep from what they said heroic weapons was going to be previously. They said they were going to be a straight upgrade from the relic tier and be some of the most powerful weapons in the game. While I do think a side grade is better overall for gameplay moving forward, because it adds another level of adapting play styles for your character, I do think that they had to rework how exactly heroic weapons were going to work in the first place. Diving in the Siege mode, they do say here Siege mode will get a lot of additions to its sandbox gameplay, and there are going to be reasons to come back to it. We are not done with it yet. I know that a lot of players going into Space Marine 2 have started to look at Siege mode as strictly a leveling type game mode where you play the first 5 levels and then you leave and you just run that over and over and over again to upgrade your level and your weapon tiers. I really do think Siege mode has taken a big hit because of the N2 disconnection error, though. And it doesn't allow people, it doesn't give people the prerogative to continue to push the highest waves of Siege, knowing that at some point the game is going to end because they're going to get disconnected, not necessarily because they actually lose. So I'm looking forward to see what they do with Siege mode. I do think if they fix the N2 error, disconnection error, it's going to be way better off, and then it's going to have more people come back to it to try and push the hardest levels of content in the game. They did say here customization is also going to get some expansion, not only with the new parts, but with new options as well. Without spoiling a surprise, here's some hints. They're going to implement something they should have done a long time ago, something they said they were going to do, but nobody noticed, and something they said they were never going to do. So I'm interested to see what exactly they're talking about here, because they do have an entire ideas list of feedback from the community that is constantly being reviewed by their team and their developers to see what can be implemented. So I'm wondering if some of those ideas, some of what is corresponding with these 3 points, is actually here in the ideas left on the focus forums. They did also release a new limited edition for the game with some new, upgraded box set steelbook artwork. I think this is really cool if you are just getting into the game. But for me personally, I'm not going to be picking this up. I don't think it's necessary, but it could be a cool side piece, if that's something you want to add to your collection, maybe a collector's item. And on to the October community event, the Vortex Scouring from October 2nd to the 16th. Team up with your fellow Space Marines to collectively bring down 500,000 Vortex Beasts. I know that they just changed this number to 400,000. If you successfully complete the mission, you'll get the Infiltrator helmet for Vanguard and Sniper classes, which I think is super awesome. I am a Vanguard main. I like to play Vanguard a lot, and I do know that with this new Phobos helmet, they have been kind of lacking on the Phobos type helmets on these types of classes, so I think this will be a great addition to the cosmetics you can equip to Vanguard and Sniper. You will need pros to access this helmet, though, so make sure you download pros. And then they are releasing a demo for the game between October 16th and the 20th for people who have not played Space Marine 2, with a lot of options for the game and first looks on all platforms, which I think is really awesome. The last time I ever saw a game developer company release a demo for a game was probably like Halo Reach or something like that, where you could go in and play the game for free and test it and see if you actually like it before you buy it. So if anybody is out there with friends that are looking into Space Marine 2, or you're trying to convince them to join up, this is a great opportunity for them to actually start playing the game. They are also doing a Discord quest where if you want to kill two birds with one stone, you can play the game on Steam for 15 minutes and get the Porphyry Shield bolt rifle. Owners of the game can play the full game for 15 minutes just to earn this reward as well. I do think the Porphyry Shield cosmetics are cool, but they aren't really anything special. I think they match more so like the Twitch drops. They have that Twitch sort of coloring. But it is another cosmetic weapon skin that you can add to the game. And they do have multiple, not only the bolt rifle, they have the chainsword, the bolt pistol, the power fist, all these sort of things. And that's it for the month for the community update. That's it for September. So keep an eye out for all of these updates moving forward with Space Marine 2. I'm super excited for patch 11 to see what they can bring out and really make it adaptations and adjustments with the feedback that the community has provided. If you guys like this video, subscribe for more content, and I do hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace out.